So, welcome to what my notes are hopefully reliably informing me is the 21st of these shows. Jesus, it's been 42 weeks of Onyx Path letting me run the show, and, well, they haven't said that they regret the decision yet, but I'm sure they will eventually, and then you won't see me again. Eighth installment of Chronicles of Darkness material. Obviously, last time I streamed, there were some technical difficulties. The stream crashed halfway through. There was no sound for the pre and post roll. It was a whole thing, and hopefully this stream will be better. Obviously, I can't say anything about my quality, but stream quality, technically speaking, should be hopefully better today. So, as you can tell, I'm more awake today, which in itself is a mixed blessing. I forgot to bring a snack up, so that's a problem. I might have to have a break halfway through. I've been experiencing some random mid-afternoon sugar crashes. So if I feel that coming on, I might have to pause the stream temporarily to go and find some food, because no one wants me when I'm woozy. Okay, so disclaimer, I do not work for Onyx Path. I am just a fan that they are graciously allowing to use their platform, and I'm ever grateful for this opportunity. I am also disabled. I do experience muscle spasms, which can lead to stuttering and slurred speech if the muscle spasms decide, hey, you don't need your jaw and throat muscles, right? We're going to take those away from you temporarily. I apologize if any of that is disquieting to watch. It's not pleasant for me, but I appreciate that some people find things like that uncomfortable to see, so I do apologize for that if it happens. And I do also struggle with multiple trains of thought, so I'll try to follow one train of thought to the conclusion, if it has one, and then start the next train of thought, whether that be a question from chat, which is why I'm looking up, because that's where my chat is. I'll move it so I don't have to look as far. Now I can see the view count, and I can see the bit rate and frame drops, so that's much better. Yes, so I will take questions from chat whenever, as it says this way. It should say about Onyx Path stuff. It does. Good, I changed that. Oh, I didn't balk that even. That's that stuff. So before I get to the show proper, a couple of notes. YouTube, I was going to leave this out, but it's kind of important, so we'll leave it in. Important things to note. All of this information comes from the following link. I'm gonna drop it in Twitch chat. That link there, the Monday meeting notes. The place to go for the regular Onyx Path weekly update. As you may guess, it's posted on Mondays for Onyx Path time. Rich T usually writes them. Richard Thomas, depending on what you prefer. And for the past month or so, they have been concerning mostly the Mage 20th Anniversary Technocracy Kickstarter that is still going on. I believe it runs till Thursday. Where is it? I believe it runs till Thursday. It's got 52 hours left, so yeah, about Thursday. As of time of recording of this video, it's at $169,833 out of $35,000. So it's funded. Let's say it's funded. It's also blasted through loads of stretch goals. I don't think there are many left. Just gonna scroll down to the bottom, see how many are left, because this is important information. The next stretch goal is at 171,000, Truth Beyond the Paradox, and that's the last one on the Kickstarter campaign page. So, if you want that and the free stretch goals, because they're usually free or heavily discounted, totally check that out if you're interested in Mage 20 and Technocracy stuff. Also of important information, way back when the world wasn't ending, just before the end times were upon us, Onyx Path started a Kickstarter for Legend Lore. Legend Lore being a game, I believe it's 5e OGL, but don't quote me on that. A game in which you play as characters who are taken from the real world and thrust into fantasy RPG land, and then have to survive. The end times happened, and that was unfortunately cancelled because there was a whole lot of financial uncertainty. People weren't feeling like they could justify backing it at that time, and obviously there were a lot of other things going on. Once this Technocracy campaign wraps up, the Legend Lore campaign is starting next Tuesday, June 2nd at 2 p.m. EDT. So if you were interested in it the first time round, the second time is coming. It's just been obviously delayed for the Technocracy book, which, for obvious reasons, you don't want two campaigns running at the same time. Additionally, to the Legend Lore Kickstarter campaign update thingamabob. Oh, right, I have the link for the Mage 20 if you want that. There's the link for Mage 20 Technocracy book. As an update to the Legend Lore Kickstarter, as is usual for Onyx Path, they released the kind of text-only manuscript preview, backup preview manuscript to the in the original campaign before it was cancelled, and because that material is kind of already out there for a lot of people, and they don't want to just do the same thing again for the second campaign. Like, hey, you backed us, here's the manuscript. On Wednesday, this actual coming Wednesday, you can actually go to DriveThruRPG and actually download that manuscript backup preview. Backup preview manuscript. There we go. So I'm totally going to be checking that out. And there will be actual plays for Legend Lore on this very channel. So if you're interested in that, totally check it out. If you're not following the channel, highly recommend it. Obviously, you don't have to sub, but the follow helps all the same. For things like that. Also, quick updates for Monday meeting notes, general stuff. Some production delays, obvious reasons. And the whole convention schedule's out of whack. The meeting notes have finally been updated to remove all of the cancelled schedules. Obviously, it's a difficult thing to think about when you're running a business. I can only imagine how difficult it was to be like, oh, hey, our convention schedule's gone for the year. But there are whispers in the dark. No, there are whispers of virtual conventions that Onyx Path will be attending. And I know a couple of weeks ago, the MMN discussed Onyx Path hosting their own virtual convention. So totally, keep on top of the social media for things like that. And as usual, way down at the bottom, there's the kind of you can buy this week situation. I've mentioned the manuscript preview text only for Legend Lore on Wednesday. Again, check it out. I will be. Also on Wednesday, if you're interested in such things, Part 3 of Yugman's Guide to Gelsbad for the Scarred Lands. Totally check that out. It's and if it's anything like the rest of the Scarred Lands line, I've seen pretty high quality and incredibly enjoyable stuff. And then obviously way down at the bottom, you've got the project updates and where they're at in the timeline and things like that. I was just checking the door behind me was closed. Things like Yugman's Guide support decks and magic items decks for Scarred Lands. The Silent Companions waiting for one tweaked piece. The Contagion Chronicles and corrections. They came from Beneath the Sea. Heroic Land Dwellers is getting back errata added to it. So things are moving along still. Things are moving along and projects are being updated. But we'll leave all those behind for now, apart from the fact that there's totally some sweet art you should check out in the Monday meeting notes. Okay. Next thing on my show notes to talk about. That's the wrong document. That's it. That's it for the start of show bump. I'll mention those links again at the end of the show. So, the show itself. People who've been here for a long time, people who've been watching us on YouTube, when I try to update it bi-weekly or whenever it goes up on the Onyx Path channel, I run a lot of intro games for role-playing games, and I have a general outline where you shouldn't have more than 3 kinds of, I say scene, but sequence, experience, story beat, what have you, to introduce people to systems and to role-playing. You have a low-stakes scene or sequence, you have a freedom scene or sequence, and you have an action scene or sequence. Obviously, some games aren't as action-driven, so you tailor it to that. But some sort of bombastic climax where you can, your players can do something, they have a happy, positive feeling, they walk away excited to play again because they remembered last time they succeeded. And assume that will be true of every other session going forwards because they are sweet, innocent cinnamon rolls that should be protected. So those are the 3 kind of sequences. That's the framework that this adventure, the Radford Estate, is being built upon. so far in the Radford estate, we've created the history of a small town in Colorado, Georgeville. We've created some urban legends for said small town. We've created some player characters. We have created a whole slew of scenes. We've got, I will zoom in for people watching on mobile. 125 I think works okay. We've got a 12-page document, by the way, so there's that. So we've got town history, urban legends, scene 1, fire, an estate is burning, a stately home is burning, and what happens if the players decide to go into the house, either as part of the volunteer fire department or however they want to get in. What happens if no one goes in the house, or what happens to characters who aren't outside the house, because stuff is still going to happen. And then, end of the scene, minor supernatural effect. Sequence 2, which is why scene is in air quotes. Investigation. So these are where all the clues that could possibly come up are included. Unintentional pun. We're going to be finishing this up today. I've got some extra stuff I want to add to it. And then these minor clues to finish. So today, in theory, we'll finish the investigation stuff. Scene 3 is going to be more overtly Sequence 3 is going to be more overtly supernatural. And then Sequence 4 will be the finale. Probably an exorcism. But I've yet to design the spirit to be exorcised. So who knows? Who knows about that? I certainly don't. You may have picked up on it, but this is being recorded for archival purposes for YouTube. This adventure, when it is written, will go up on the Storytellers Vault. A link to a playlist with all of these videos will be included. So if I use your idea in this adventure, I won't credit your name in the document, but I will. Obviously, clearly, I'm recording the chat, as you can see below me, down here, so that people can watch it to get the credit that way. Otherwise, I'd be crediting loads of people for ideas, and sometimes, due to the way Twitch works with the chat delay, I start writing an idea out, and then by the time I've finished it, someone in chat has suggested it, but I already had that idea because there's like a 20-second delay between me talking about things, me starting to write things out, and then the actual chat responses. Think that's it. Yes, I think that's it. So last time, specifically, I was talking about how players get to the ritual chamber where they can exorcise, kill, banish, what have you, the spirit of deprivation that is behind all of this, that has set the fire, that is sort of possessing them, sort of not. And I believe I mentioned this on stream. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this on stream, that the way in is there's like a hidden door in the reflecting pool, and you just kind of hold your breath. You step down the reflecting pool at the right point. You hold your and you just open it like a small airlock style door. And it occurred to me about 2 hours ago that there's no actual clue in this entire thing apart from I think one line about the reflecting pool, that's where you should go, that's how the players should get in. I know there are hints at a hidden basement level, but there's no actual like, hey, this is how you get into the hidden basement level. So that's the first thing I want to do, is I want to add clues about that. So let's start in the fire. Let's add 2 clues in the initial scene for anyone who goes in the house to find, and then add a couple of clues to the actual investigation scene. So I think let's have the master bathroom full of pond water. The bath in this room is full. I will narrate what I'm typing because dead air is terrible for entertainment purposes. Some people have this on in the background while working or drive. I had someone actually have this stream on in the background while doing like cross state driving, so that was cool. And just so that, as I say, people have me on the background or aren't necessarily as good at, let's say, have accessibility problems regarding text documents, are still included. Also, aforementioned dead air problem. I guess I could put the Honest Path theme in the background. I might look into doing that. Anyway, so the bath in this room is full of dark water. That has a thin layer of green algae floating on top of it. A thin layer of green algae and weeds, and tiny weeds floating on top of it. Any character with survival, I believe. Sorry, I play a lot of role-playing games, so I know a lot of skills, and I always forget which skill is in which game. But sure, would be survival. No, this would be more like academics or science. Let's say any character with any level of knowledge regarding local flora can identify the weeds as a type of pondweed. Woo, there we go. So that's one clue. I was gonna have just like wet footprints. Where to put the wet footprints? Maybe the main hall. Yeah, let's have the main hall. Series of damp footprints leads to the stairs. Let's say a series of damp marks leads to the stairs. Each of which looks like no, the tip of an umbrella. There we go. I'm envisaging this spirit to have weird kind of spiked limbs. So there we go. There's 2 clues there. And then in the investigation, again, I cannot overstate the importance of correct formatting and heading usage if you want to be really quickly flicking through a document. Very important that you set them up properly. Okay, the library. There was a... Let's do this. Additional basement level with an external access point somewhere in the grounds. That's probably going to be a survival-based thing to read the map, to read the blueprint. So let's say intelligence and survival. A successful intelligence survival roll allows a PC to estimate that the entrance is somewhere around... Is it just a tree? Did I name the type of tree? Urban Legends. Big oak tree. Why has that got a comma? That doesn't need a comma. Get out of here. There we go. Around the oak tree and the reflecting pool within the grounds. There we go. There's 1 clue. Where else are they likely to go? The vision fades after a few moments. However, bed sheets drip with gold water whilst the PCs are in this room. That works for me. That works for me, pointing towards the water. That's kind of the main thing, as well as just obviously being creepy. Okay, so that's those clues, right. The 5 at the bottom. Bone carvings, Ashworth building maintenance, ladle, tree, and reflecting pool. So the bone carvings, I believe, were the entryway. Put a strip to flesh, that's going to length. Any PC who brings a bone out from under the seat immediately as this small angular shapes carved into it. This a symmetrical repeated pattern. Okay. I don't know why there's an extra space there. There really doesn't need to be. So this will be heading 2. Heading 3. Heading 3. Let's do these all at the same time. And obviously, if you have any questions about why I'm doing what I'm doing, I'll try to explain that anyway, but if you have any questions about why I'm doing what I'm doing, or about role-playing games, perfectly on this path, but I can answer about a variety of role-playing games, running, writing, creating, what have you, please do feel free to ask, even if it's not related to the actual thing I'm doing. For instance, I've been asked about story ideas for Vampire Masquerade games before during the stream, so I'll answer anything I can. This is kind of a general GM tips show with just this as the background, let's say, the reason for it to exist. I believe in sharing knowledge rather than hoarding it all to myself. Okay, so bone carvings. Let's do a complex action. Is there any guidance given for interval lengths? Assume dramatic systems. Sorry. Extended action, complex task. Roll dice multiple times. Five successes. Let's say half an hour's research per roll, per interval. Bone carvings. Identifying any information. Nope. Regarding the bone castings. Regarding the bone carvings requires an extended action of suitable research, e.g. library use or internet surfing, browsing. Internet browsing is a weird way of saying it. Let's just say browsing the internet, or using the internet. Each interval of the action is 30 minutes long, and the action requires 5 successes before it is complete. Should we tie this into the clue system? probably. Let's do this. So, clue. Let's say failing this action, fails to produce a clue. I mean, this is all first draft anyway, so it fails to produce a clue. Clue. How have I been phrasing these? Right. Cool. Also, what's going on with my voice? Yeah, weird. Clue. Nope, not bold. Not bold. Pattern carved into the bone. Reminiscent of. I want to check something before I type this out. So, talk amongst yourselves, chat. No, that's obviously not going to happen. I didn't think this theosophy was going to work, but I wanted to check. The pattern carved into the bone is reminiscent of certain... Because this is going to be an occult link. I guess Masonic devices? Because these are all rich families. I'm not saying the Masons are ritual or occult ritualists, because you know, as far as I'm aware, they aren't. So similar, reminiscent of, but not actually are, is important here. Sure. Let's say that these families took Masonic practices and turned them for occult purposes. Certain Masonic devices. If the roll, you can exceptionally succeed. Yes, you can. Is an exceptional success. An additional capital C clue is revealed. Clue. Whilst reminiscent of Masonic devices, the patterning has been changed. The pattern has been changed and appears to incorporate aspects of. Again, I want to check something to make sure it's suitable first. Yes, that should be fine. Nope, that's the wrong document. That's the wrong browser. There we go. Numerology. Additionally, it was rumored that many of... Oh, I'm going to sneeze. I think I'm okay. George Jorgeville's wealthy elite were members of the Freemasons. Let's just say we're Masons. And then, because that kind of gives you some wiggle room if you want to have your own Masonic order to distance it from the obviously the actual OG Masons. You know, this is an exceptional success. Let's get rid of this. Let's confirm. Additionally, the Radfords, along with... Why am I apostrophizing these? I need to pluralize. Along with the Markhams and a few other wealthy families. Had proven Masonic links. Let's say recorded. Proven, recorded. A bit of semantic difference. Recorded doesn't necessarily mean true, whereas proven does. Let's leave proven. Okay, so that's cool. Masonic stuff, numerology. Tie it together with the ladle, probably. Yes, let's do that. Anyway, Ashworth building maintenance. So this won't be a clue in the big C sense. This will just be kind of background information. Any small amount of internet surfing. Any small amount? What? A small amount. Internet surfing will reveal that Ashworth building maintenance is part of the Ashworth conglomerate. That word just looks weird. And has held many maintenance contracts in Georgeville over the years. Not really sure what else that clue should provide, because the thing with the words on it is the clue itself. That should be fine. For those unfamiliar with this stream, or who didn't catch the last stream, or who have never played modern World of Darkness, Chronicles of Darkness role-playing game with me, Ashworth is basically my version of the Umbrella Corporation from the Resident Evil franchise. Has its fingers in a lot of pies. Oh, I also mentioned it in Zion. It was also in Zion. Anytime I need a big faceless organization that could conceivably be there, Ashworth it is. Okay, ladle. What was special about the ladle? It makes you hungry and has a weird symbol on it. An inscription carved onto the underside of the bowl. Yes, that's it. Also makes you hungry. Okay, so it's up to the PCs how they discover the following inscription. Some examples are provided here. Something you may notice is I'm not afraid to laugh at myself when I make horrendous spelling mistakes. It's actually quite stressful typing on stream while trying to talk. Well, typing on stream is stressful. Talking distracts me from the typing. The stress distracts me from the typing, and then typos are made, and I have to laugh, otherwise I would cry. Some examples are provided here. It won't be a vertical list, it'll be a horizontal list separated by commas. Let's say taking a rubbing. Taking a photograph and altering the contrast / contrasts / other qualities to highlight the inscription. You could also, I guess, use a microscope, maybe. Let's say, or by. There we go. However they reveal it, the inscription is as follows. Let's indent this because it's important. As they have, so shall we. What they have, we shall have. What we need, you shall take. Add some quote marks. Actually, it's probably more along the lines of this. One, just for nicer formatting, and two, because it's not going to have that much space on the bowl of the spoon. Although, that's the inscription anyway. Sorry to bother, just joined, wondering what the context here. Modern World Vampires. This is core Chronicles, so mortals, in what I'm loosely calling a haunted house. Well, with what I'm loosely calling a haunted house. There is a spirit of deprivation that is kind of haunting a town, and his own, was bound in a ritual circle, has recently freed itself or been freed, and kind of the assumption is that the PCs will feel like they want to do something about it. So that's the context. Also, that's a great username. I appreciate that username. And then I need to get rid of the indent. A series of illuminated is the wrong word. Not many people know what that means. I just want to check something. Sorry, bear with me. Yeah, that's what I thought it would be. Series of ornate carvings of the number 4 surround this inscription. Specifically the number 4, as it has in certain schools of thought, meanings regarding kind of stability and justice, and like organization and that kind of thing. Number of the square, number of mankind, etc., etc. So it's This is the number that the families of Georgeville who summoned even this being, used to bind it. Bit of numerical symbology for you there. Obviously, that's Western interpretations, and only in certain schools of Western interpretation at that, but there we go. That's the one we're using for now. I guess we could do an intelligence occult roll here. A successful intelligence plus occult roll will reveal the importance of the number 4. Let's say for stability, justice, and mankind within certain occult trains of thought. Trains of thought, there we go. Although now I think about it, Trais is a pretty cool fantasy character name. Exceptional success will reveal the ornamentation of the carvings to be altered Masonic symbology. Again, tie it back to the Masons, but it's different from Masonic symbology. This is its own thing. Okay, tree and reflecting pool. Oh, hey, dude, you saw the ping. Welcome. Oh, the algorithm worked in your favor. Okay, how to make a tree interesting in 10 easy steps. Chop that MFer down, have a body in it. It's interesting. Done. Seriously though, oak tree. Oak tree in the grounds. Has a long history of being used for lynchings and a smuggler's stash. Situated next to the reflecting pool. It is a large withered reminder of the glory days of Georgeville. Oh, also something I will point out, because I've zoomed in, the kerning, the spaces between the letters, it gets a bit weird on Google Docs when you zoom in beyond 100%. So, but I'd rather have people be able to read the text that I'm writing than have it look correct. I can zoom in a bit. I can zoom in further if people want. I'm happy to go up to 150. So just let me know about that. A series of faces and names have been scratched into the trunk over the years. And one branch has a permanently bark-free spot from the many rope swings that have been attached to it. Anyone who leans on the trunk could feel a draft coming from a small knot near the ground. And then reflecting pool. Now, I can't remember if I said anything about the reflecting pool last time, so I'm unfortunately going to have to scan through everything I have previously written in the scene. I do beg your forgiveness for that. Lynching, noose, body in the hollow, laser kitten, death metal band, cold spots, hungry. Symbol. If the ladle in the kitchen is examined, PCs realize the symbol was actually the minute inscription. Cool. Anyway, back to this. Nothing there. Markham House. And then the house ruins because, again, the house burned down in the opening scene, so. Bones, security system. Security room. Cold spot. Ghostly cleaver. Okay. I think I meant to write something about the reflection pool and then never actually mentioned the reflecting pool anywhere. Or I just mentioned it off the top of my head. So, reflecting pool. And then I will refresh my memory on how the clues work in the investigation system and tie it all together. But again, any questions, do feel free to ask. They don't have to be directly related to Chronicles of Darkness. I will discuss any game system I know about quite happily. I'm a huge tabletop nerd. Reflecting pool, anyway. Large, rectangular, pool of still water sits at the base of the oak tree and stretches towards a barely standing folly. Gonna teach people about architecture. Except I'm not. I'm just going to mention folly and then leave it. Water is cold to the touch. But surprisingly clear and deep. Let's. And this is the like the problem with the storyteller system is that you succeed or you don't. There's no difficulty of success. I guess I could just apply a modifier. Any PC who wishes to examine the pool in detail for hidden features may attempt a width plus composure roll or intelligence investigation. I really should probably put spaces on either side of those plus signs. Let's do that right now. Where was the other one? There it is. With a -3 modifier. A successful roll reveals the presence of a ladder carved into the stonework. Lining the pool. Lining te pool. Is that... I mean, te is kind of like the classic typo, isn't it? so dated and powerful. And an exceptional success. It reveals the presence of a doorway approximately 2 feet under the water level. And next to the ladder. Surprisingly clear and deep. Starting, its depth varies from somewhere around 10 feet at the house end. We'll say at the oak end. At the end nearest the oak. And decreases to around 2 feet deep near the folly. The water's cold to the touch, but surprisingly clear, excepting the large clumps of algae and pondweed that dot its surface. There we go. Successful roll was the presence of hydrocarbon to the stonework line in the pool, and an exceptional success. Who? There was the presence of a doorway approximately 2 feet under the water level and next to the ladder. Stonework line in the pool near the oak. Let's say near where one of the oak's roots has forced its way into the water. There we go. So even if they don't pick up on any of the other clues, they can still potentially see this. The question becomes, what happens if they don't notice anything and decide not to enter the pool? How then do they get into the thing? I guess there are a lot of clues pointing them here. There's the map. There are the wet footprints. There's the clumps of weed in the water in the bath. Hopefully that would send them to the reflecting pool as the kind of only source of water nearby. It's one of the things where I don't want to railroad people, but kind of this is the place you have to go. I'll have to think about that. Moving on. So this is scene 3. The Otherworld. Ooh, spooky. Or it would be if I didn't obviously have to do the whole clue situation. That's nice put together. Tying things together. Please highlight, thank you. Heading 2. Alright, I will just refresh myself on how the clues work. Where did investigation go? There it is. Whoop. Uncovering the truth. And zoom in so I can actually read it. Woo, no. Please just... There we go. Okay, so let's have tying things together. The truth behind what happened is as follows. 1956, during the grip of a terrible winter, a handful of the wealthy elite in Georgeville summoned a spirit to steal the food the rest of the town for them. The spirit did so, and many in the town died. Whilst a handful of the wealthy elite call themselves the Esoteric Order of Masons. Please don't anyone look into that. Yes, the Esoteric Order of Dagon from Shadow of Innsmouth. I have problems regarding pop culture. I do apologise. Spirit did so, and many in the town died, whilst the Esoteric Order grew fat. When the winter was over, they bound the spirit in a hidden basement. Beneath the Radford estate, but were consumed with a never-ending hunger. A side effect of summoning a spirit of deprivation. A handful of the townsfolk suspecting black magic embarked on a campaign of arson against those who had prospered during the winter. I think the implication I made about this was that they were beaten to death. House fires. Yes. But were beaten to death by a vigilante mob. I'm going to put in brackets the clue that kind of relates to the relevant thing after I've typed this out. Actually, I might just repeat these, you see the cursor, right? Yeah, I might repeat these clue headings and then just say what information they relate to in this story. So, beaten to death by a vigilante mob. So that's the arson clue sorted. Please don't crash, thank you. That's that. The curse. What are the clues about the curse? There we go. That's fine. That's fine. It's just a lot of them are just pointing to similar things. Obviously, you don't want to be doing every clue, and it's unlikely the players will investigate every clue. So you want to cover a few topics with more than one clue. Orson, Simon Wells. Beyond a name. Esoteric Order of Masons. And then these aren't clues so much as just kind of, hey, this is the right place. Something weird's going on here. Let's do a clue for this. Clue. Composition of the inscription and the surrounding engravings. Are highly, are very similar to portrayals. Recorded instances of magic circles. And there we go. Okay, so where was that then? So that's the Markham House. That's the arson clue and Markham House again, right? Yep. And Markham House clues. Existence of this basement is revealed by the... Okay. I guess technically the curse clue. So we've got curse, Professor Barker. Yeah. Oh, alright, bone carvings. Yeah. Where did that go? Where did it go? There we go. Curse and Professor Barker clues again. Clive Barker reference. Side effect of summoning spirit deprivation. So Markham House clue. No one actually knows they summoned it, obviously, but that should tell them that something's gone on. Let's say, and bone carvings clues. So Hysterical Order of Masons, Hidden Basement, arson was the result of a mob. Oh, arson was the result of like purposeful targeting rather than just random targeting. The laser kitten clues are designed to just say, hey, there's a spirit involved. Should indicate a spirit. As should the phenomena witnessed in the house. And then the other urban legends from the curse clue should point the way to the reflecting pool and the oak tree. The clues together should produce something along these lines. Brackets. Although you should allow the PCs to piece together their own order of events. So, 1956/1957 series of arsons endow many of the estates in Georgeville. The estates had rumored occult connections to the Hysterical Order of Masons. A spirit was involved. A spirit of hunger / deprivation. Was involved. The oak tree and reflecting pool are important. So that should be enough. Like, you only need 4 clues to tie these all together. Out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clues. So you need half of them basically, which I think most player groups would naturally pursue. So that's cool. And obviously there are more environmental things about, hey, you should probably check out the pool, than there are clues. So. Right, so that's that. The main problem is that obviously a written adventure is predicated upon the player character's kind of discovering what the adventure wants them to discover. Whereas as written, you're supposed to leave the investigation vague so that the player characters, no matter what happens, get to the end of it. Or kind of reach the end point in a manner that you haven't specified. No hard answers. There we go. Cool. How to then, because there is the missing clues side of things. Putting the clues together, PCs need only 4 clues. Should produce something along these lines. Or they should allow the PCs to piece together their own order of events. And you should add a complication per missing clue. For each missing clue, whoops, no, capital C, there we go. In accordance with the rules. Obviously, feel free to criticize what I'm doing also. If I'm doing something and you think it doesn't fit with the rules or you think there's a problem, please do let me know. It is very likely that I will not get to playtest any of this, so I need the feedback whenever I can get it. Right. Should also at some point, I guess, an extra scene here, the follow-up. Whoops. Nope. Let's just say preparation. Yeah, there we go. So, in theory, by this point in the adventure, PCs know they are dealing with the spirit of deprivation / hunger. And know where to find it. Hidden basement, access through the reflecting pool. Did I give any of the PCs occult as a skill? One. Two of them. Okay. Two of the pre-gens have occult. A couple of them have academics. Oh, right, I need to get rid of... Nope, thank you. I can delete that. That was a worry that I didn't need to have. There we go. I'll reword that, but that's what that is. Okay, so that's all that's sorted in theory. Right, back to the Rafford estate. Using another extended action. This one with a... this one requires 7 successes. And each interval is 2 hours long. Let's reword this. This one requiring 7 successes with each interval being... There we go. Much better. Again, I don't know why I'm wearing the headset. There's no music playing. It's just habit from streaming. This one requiring 7 successes with each interval being 2 hours long. There we go. Why was that so hard to say? The PCs can discover enough fragments of information concerning spirits of this type to cobble together a list of what they need to banish the spirit. A suggested banishment is provided here. You are free to devise your own. Right, so let's see. HPC places a lit candle around the edges of the original summoning circle. Oop. Oh, it's auto-corrected. Whoops. Of the original summoning circle. / binding circle. And uses said candle. Rich smells. Smells of excess and warmth. Oh, green wood, new growth. Taper of green wood. Signifying renewal, spring, growth, etc. They must then chant an opposing mantra to that provided in the inscription. For making an offering of food to the spirit. And then bifurcating their candle. Canaddle. Let's say 4 PCs. Tied in with the numerology. There we go. So where there were 4 candles, there will be 8 candle pieces, and there's that. When I get to the actual kind of climax, I'll have like the ritual is an extended action requiring etc. requiring so many successes, or whilst things are happening, the players will need to, the player characters will need to maintain concentration, or things of that ilk. so that 4 PCs are doing the ritual, and then any other players still have something to do. Probably keep the spirit off their backs, but if the spirit isn't otherwise occupied, then say it's like a 4 PC party, then they obviously will have to make their own preparations. I might suggest like Assault Circle, for example. Must then chant and pose a mantra that behind the description while making an offering of food to the spirit and then bifurcating their candle. Breaking the number 4 into, let's say, thus dispelling effects of the number 4 in the original ritual. And banishing the spirit. Okay. Cool. I think that works as a general banishment. This one using any dice pools you deem applicable. Requiring 7 success, which will be 2 hours long. And requiring 7 success. There we go. Cool. Right, so how much longer have I got left? About 20 minutes? Okay, gotcha. Let's begin with scene 3, the Otherworld. How many pages are we on? 15. Good lord, this is a pretty beefy document. My Scion one was pretty beefy as well. Turns out when I write adventures, I write long adventures. Afternoon, Steve, Cliffhawk. How are you? I know it's Clark, don't worry, but I'm feeling like being in an awkward mood. The Otherworld. Ooh. Right, so upon stepping into the doorway at the bottom of the sunken, submerged. All right. Glad to hear it. Of the submerged ladder, PCs find themselves in an airlock of sorts. Airlock is simple to, I guess, just use. Use works, right? The airlock is simple to use. A lever simply needs to be pushed towards the closed door. Close the door behind the PCs to close. And the chamber to drain. Well, the previously closed door opens. There we go. Stepping out of this airlock transports the PCs to another place entirely. Now surrounded by biting winds and whirling, that's not how you spell that word, whirling clumps of snow, seemingly lost in a primordial Arctic forest. Whilst in this other place, I guess I'll just reuse the obsessive condition, right? Let's check the conditions again, though. The appendices. Conditions. Let's check out deprived. I don't think I've used deprived. I could have done. I honestly can't remember. I've used a couple of conditions here in this adventure just to highlight the condition. Oh yeah, deprived is the food one, the addiction one. I do believe I've used that. I guess shaken because they've teleported. That would shake anyone. Gain the shaken condition. Source of their fear being the sudden shift in scenery. In location, I guess. Okay, so some interesting things to happen here. Oh, I know. From a point of origin, PCs can see a cylinder of bright white light in the distance. When the wind drops, they can smell, I guess it's roasting meat, coming from the same direction. As they move towards it, it becomes apparent they are being hunted by something. It is important to note that they should never see what they are being hunted by. But it should make its presence known. Through sounds, startling the local wildlife, and lashing out at stragglers only to disappear. Into the trees. Let's go with, let's say it has for mechanics purposes, the creature has a dice pool of 6 to attack a PC, and its weapons deal +1L. So for those who don't know notation in Chronicles of Darkness, that means that however many successes the creature gets in excess of the PC's defense, well, that's how many levels of damage it deals. +1 means it does an extra level of damage, and the L means it deals lethal damage. At least I assume that's how it still is. That's how it is in other Coft books. So, weapons. Yeah, should be fine. Bonus successes, that's what it counts as. There we go. That was the thing I was for some reason, struggling to get across. Oh, weapons always deal lethal damage anyway. Oh, that's fine then. I'll go over the L. have a damage value of 1. You should allow the PCs to create traps, decoys, or other hindrances if they wish to. About halfway to the cylinder, they begin to hear a muffled chanting. Changing, what? Which only gets clearer the closer they travel. Creatures' attacks become... It's the kerning problem again. Less frequent the closer they are to the cylinder. Let's say to the light. I've been using cylinder. Consistency is important when writing adventures, otherwise you're going to get confused. People are going to get confused reading it. Creatures' attacks become less frequent the closer they are to the cylinder. Until it is as if the creature never existed, save for the damage dealt to any plate, the damage taken by any PC. Brackets, which converts itself into bashing damage when the PCs reach the cylinder. Up close. Cylinder is a circular tower of pure light. Up close to cylinder is a circular tower of pure light, and PCs can see a darkened room through it. Stepping through the cylinder, PCs into the hidden basement. Beneath the Radford estate. How am I doing on time? 10 minutes or so? Excellent. I might actually wrap this one up early for once. Just so that then next time I can actually write the final scene and we'll be done with this adventure. In addition to the general overview of the scene provided above, is recommended to provide some points of interest in the forest. Some examples are, and then this is a bullet point list. Nope. Bullet point list, thank you. So we've got a pile of, I don't know what I was typing there, desiccated, partly consumed bodies in ornate, if frozen, robes. Any investigation of this pile provided PCs have looked into Simon Wells or any of the wealthy families of Georgeville, There's the presence of several lesser members of, let's say, of Georgeville's elite. There we go. Oh, that works. All of whom disappeared in the late 50s. Oh, sorry if the mic picked up me punching it by accident. What else? What else would there be? Series of large chunks of ice (brackets) or an ice-like substance. Why can't I type when people are watching? I promise I type a lot and I'm pretty good at it. Contains stretched figures within. Each has a long face with a slash-like mouth full of uneven fangs, spike-like legs, and large six-fingered hands. Any PC who witnessed master bedroom. It says the bathroom the first time around. And then the bathroom the second time around in the master bedroom. Let's say apparition. That's not how you spell that in the slightest. There we go. In the master bedroom during scene 2 recognizes these figures as that, or as identical to that. Any PC who looked into the master bathroom mirror in scene 1 realizes that the momentary reflection bore a striking similarity to these creatures. If the PCs linger in this area, we'll try to melt one of the chunks of ice. I'm just happy Streamlabs hasn't crashed yet. Go use Streamlabs, you've got this. One of the creatures stirs. I like 3s. What else can we go for? And then I want a 4th one as well. I know what that one's going to be though. Part of the consumer should be hyphenated. It's describing the bodies. Sneak peek of the creature. Kind of revelation about what happened to some of the people who summoned it. We're going to have why it's taken so long for it to start acting again at the cylinder. Oh. A gap in the trees reveals a... provides a view of the glimmering ice blue stars above. A character who studies the stars and would have any relevant background knowledge knows that these stars are not those of Earth's night sky. I think spooked is a condition, right? Maybe? I don't know. I'm making up conditions now. No, spooked is a condition. They gain the spooked condition. Scattered around base of the cylinder of light are large chunks of ice embedded with silvery chains. Why did I hyphenate that? That doesn't need to be hyphenated. Too many hyphens. Too many. Back in your box. Unnecessary hyphen. Let's say fragments of ice. Studying these fragments for any decent length of time allows a PC to conclude that they would probably make a chunk of ice the same size as those perhaps previously encountered. Let's just say as those containing the strange creatures described above. They knew how to open the summoning circle, but not how to close it. Classic mistake. Okay, I think I'm done. And then scene 4 is the ritual. So I'll have to swat up on the spirit creation rules and kind of work out some distractions that could happen as the spirit is like, hey, no, I don't want to be banished. I like it here. And then we'll be done, which will be weird. In like half the time it took for a Zion one. Always triple check your summoning circle instructions. It's like IKEA furniture. It really is, isn't it? So that's me done here for today, which is actually on time for once. If you have any lingering questions, I will be streaming on my channel in about, I want to say 10 to 15 minutes. Not role-playing related, I'll just be playing probably Minecraft Dungeons. It's out today. Any trinkets that protect players or prayers. I will make a note of that executable and the relevant thing. And we'll see where it's scrolled to the top. Goods/prayers to protect PCs. Question mark. I'll make a note of that and I'll have a think. Thank you for that. It was a good idea. Yes, so I'll be on my own channel if you have any lingering questions or just want to discuss anything. I'm also on Twitter. Both the Twitch channel and the Twitter are Comrade Bubbles. I use it pretty much everywhere for this side of my hobby. Next time I'm on this channel, in theory, is the 9th of June for Scene 4, whatever. So maybe there may be 2 streams, depends how long it takes me to create the spirit. Or I might do that off stream, I don't know. I like talking through my decision-making process, though. Probably do it on stream. This video will go up on my YouTube channel, again, Comrade Bubbles, on the 2nd. There is a week's exclusivity for subscribers, so if you only saw half of it and you want to see the beginning, unfortunately you have to subscribe to the Onyx Path Twitch channel to see that. Otherwise, it'll be, as I say, it'll be up on my channel next Tuesday, and probably up on Onyx Path's YouTube channel next Tuesday as well. I will be around in chat for a few minutes after the post-roll starts anyway, if you have any lingering questions that you don't want to take to my channel. But just as a quick reminder, the Monday meeting notes, I mean, you just scroll up and chat, really. They're right there. Ignore FSC. The Monday meeting notes are a great place for updates to project timelines, Kickstarters, etc. Of note, the Technocracy Mage 20 Kickstarter's ending this Thursday and is doing incredibly well. There was only 1 stretch goal left. Let's see if it's beaten it. I'll refresh the page. Also, upcoming Kickstarters are an upcoming Kickstarter is the Legend Lore Kickstarter. That was they've beaten the last stretch goal. Oh, joined after the message. Don't assume you can see it. That is true. That is true. I will copy these links. There's one link, and there's the other link. My bad. Sorry about that. So it's been what I believe to be the last stretch goal, so that's cool. Definitely check that out if you're interested in Mage 20 and any of that stuff. And then on Tuesday, June the 2nd, I think. Where is it? There was a date. I promise. Tuesday, June the 2nd at 2 p.m. EDT. So after this stream would air next week, we're not bi-weekly. Legend Lore's hitting Kickstarter. Legend Lore has already been on Kickstarter. It went up just before the end times began, but due to financial uncertainty of the whole COVID-19 thing, it was cancelled. However, because they had already distributed the backer preview manuscript, as Onyx Path do with a lot of their Kickstarters, they're not going to be doing that again with this Kickstarter. Instead, on Wednesday, they'll be adding the preview manuscript to DriveThruRPG for free for everyone to check out if they want to in advance of the Kickstarter. And also on Wednesday, there is the 3rd part of Yugman's Guide to Gelspad for the Scarred Lands line. It's great, kind of grim, bright setting for using the 5th edition OGL rules. Definitely check it out if you like the 5e mechanics. It's different enough, shall we say, and definitely worth your time. For the Legend Lore Kickstarter, if you're interested but kind of still unsure after the back manuscript preview thing, there will be actual plays on this channel, much like there are actual plays of Technocracy material on Tuesdays. Actually, it's not the stream after this one, because the stream after this one is a Pugmire game, Realms of Pugmire, because they have cat characters as well. But it's the stream after that at 9 p.m. EDT. There's a Technocracy stream run by Travis Legg, Plastic Age Plays, who is kind of in charge of Scarred Lands. Is my understanding of that. And then also, obviously, there are conventions cancelling left, right, and centre all over the world. So Onyx Path won't be attending conventions, but at the minute, anyway. But the Monday meeting notes do point out that they're looking at attending virtual conventions and things. And a couple of weeks ago, there were discussions of Onyx Path doing their own virtual convention. So keep an eye on that front if that kind of thing interests you. I think that's everything I need to cover. There haven't been any open development updates recently I know of. So yes, that should be everything. Mage 20 Technocracy, if you like that kind of thing, check it out. Legend Lord next week, with the back of manuscript going up this week. And virtual conventions are a thing that the world is obviously doing now, so keep an eye out for Onyx Path attending your favourite virtual convention, I guess. I hope that you enjoyed the stream and that you either learned something from it or have story ideas that you can take from it. Feedback is always important to me. The best place for me to see it is, as I say, my Twitter, my Twitch, or my YouTube channel on my YouTube comments. But you do have to wait a week to post the YouTube comments. I don't, as a rule, check the Onyx Path videos. I have a lot of other things, unfortunately, to do with my time than watch my content. Also, I hate my voice. And obviously, I can't do this without the fans, so thank you for being here. Well, without the community. So thank you for being here, for giving me your time. The next time I will be here will be 2 weeks' time, as I say, but at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. EDT, there is a Realms of Pugmire game, which, if you don't know what Pugmire is, it's 5th edition D&D OGL rules, but you play as dogs, or cats, if you're using the Monarchies of Mao. And it's, certainly for Pugmire, it's about learning what it is to be a good dog, which is great. Any other... If you are interested in any of the other content on the channel, however, stick around for the post-roll, because there's branding, promotional materials for all of it, as well as the upcoming schedule. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed however much of the stream you saw. And I'm always open to criticism and feedback. But for now, until next time. Right, I can't change the scene that quickly. Oh, no, what? That's gone wrong. For now, until next time. See ya.